Thank you very much, Laurie, for providing us with the inspiration of the Global School. And thank you also for taking the time to really call in and to help start what we believe is the beginning of a new revolution in higher ed. And so with that, I'd like to just say a few words about the vision of the Global School, which for me is an exciting vision that sort of goes back to the founding of WPI. And so I deliberately chose to start with the images of the Twin Towers, designating our initial focus on theory and practice. And when one looks at that, that has guided and shaped us through multiple revolutions. Next slide, please. And so if you go back to where we are, we're in the heart of Massachusetts. I've chosen this picture because it sort of shows the delightful position that we occupy in Massachusetts. And from this place, 150 years ago, our founding fathers had a great vision of a great university that would train people with theory and practice for the future of work in Massachusetts. And it's interesting to see how we have evolved over 4 industrial revolutions into what we are today and what we aspire to be. Next, please. So if you look at the early beginnings of our existence, we were a university that really was built on the first industrial revolution of mechanical engineering and metallurgy. And we produced many graduates who transformed the economy in the Worcester area and the New England area in ways that are very remarkable. This is the place where stainless steel was first invented, nickel-based superalloys, and many foundational materials that formed the basis of the first industrial revolution. In the second industrial revolution, the era of automation at the start of the 20th century, WPI again embraced this with the establishment of electrical engineering as a discipline, and that drove automation and the great industrial expansion that occurred during that era. And then the third industrial revolution, which basically started around the same time as our WPI plan, was the era in which computer science was established as a discipline, and that has spawned many, many disciplines, including robotics engineering, which in many ways has really enabled us to be part of the digital revolution. And then most recently, at the start of the 4th industrial revolution, where in the era of the Internet of Things and the Internet of Services driven by interconnected devices that communicate with each other, acquire information, and driven also by the advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in each of those stages, WPI has been at the center of a revolution using the idea of theory and practice to drive impact on society. And so what's unique about us? Next. If you look at what's really unique about us is that today we are a university that does project-based learning in a way that trains very special technical leaders. And this has been recognized by the National Academy of Engineering through the award of the Gordon Prize in 2016. We're also ranked #1 as the university with the best balance of research and teaching, which is an interesting place to be because it sort of shows the value not only of our teaching, but our research and the blend of the two and how we use this to drive impact in our students. And then of course we have the review by the Princeton Review folks who say we're one of the top 10 places for doing study abroad. So when you combine all of this, we are now a university that has impact in research, in education, and in global education across 50 centers across the world. And this is who we are, which basically means that as we think about a global school, we have the great opportunity to build on this backbone within the context of a culture that engages in a special kind of education that can really impact the world. Next. And so what's special? Part of what is special is we take students in teams to work with communities across the world to solve real problems. And we do this, of course, mostly at the undergraduate level, but we also have increasing interest in doing this at the graduate level. And in many ways, I think with our 50 plus global centers across the world, it's easy to say that perhaps we're one of the most invested institutions that really is using this kind of an approach to really train people that can solve problems through project-based learning. Next, please. And then we do, in most of what we do, we're driven by a purpose. And our purpose, of course, is to try to address really significant global challenges, some of which are, of course, local, to identify demand-driven group activities in which we can try to develop solutions, and then to co-create those solutions in collaboration with our partners in ways that can drive impact. We do this, of course, through research and projects, education, as well as with partnering with stakeholders across the world in industry, government, academia, and non-governmental organization. So we're really a team, a part of a global team that's really driven by this desire to have impact. Next. And as you think about this, this now forms the framework for the global school. Essentially, all of those elements of our culture of project-based, purpose-driven global education, research, and outreach are what we hope to bring together in the global school and build on our rich history of theory and practice, this desire for impact by fusing the contributions from the arts and humanities, natural sciences, engineering, business, and global studies into one integrated WPI effort in collaboration with our partners. And as we do this, we've created a school to bring together different groups in ways that can enhance the overall WPI impact on global education, global outreach, and global impact. Next. So as we do this, we have a department that will build out the core. The department is being proposed to be called the Department of Integrative and Global Studies. It will have core programs that will really strengthen our ability to really teach the culture, the history, the language, the context of different parts of the world, so that we fuse those with transregional global studies, as well as our understanding of STEM, to develop real solutions through our projects that we do in collaboration with our partners. We also build on an increasingly interdisciplinary community of researchers here at WPI, such as those in INSTEAD with a focus on development, others with a focus on global health, climate change adaptation, and have partnerships within WPI and across and beyond WPI in ways that can drive global impact. And then, of course, through the global labs and through the global programs, we hope to engage students, faculty, staff, alumni, as well as our local and global partners in this platform that then forms the basis for our global interactions. Next. And so the global school has a structure then that expands our footprint, deepens our interactions, and really builds on partnerships. And we're going to rely very, very strongly not only on our students, faculty, and staff, but of course on our board members, our alumni that are deeply committed to this process of globally engaged project-based education in ways that allow WPI to co-create solutions with our local and global partners. So for our incoming students who work across Elbridge, to our established alums who've been with us for many, many years, we hope that we will all work together on this global mission. Next. So the strategy for me is quite simple. We need to build on WPI's special source. And when we were trying to put the idea together of what the global school should be, I must always acknowledge the role that Mike Helms played in just saying, Wole, we are like this place that has this very special source. And that special source is how we do our education and how we do our global interaction. Let's build on this culture in an organic way. Let's deepen the role of our STEM focus and link it with a deep understanding of culture and social justice. And let's think about the most important problems of our time and address them with our culture in a way that deepens our impact on issues related to food and health, energy, water, and climate change adaptability. which are the areas that our faculty, our community are vested in, they want to tackle. And as we do this, let's think about the impact that we can have as a community on sustainability, the impact we can have on a circular economy in which there is no waste. And think about the great public good that we can do in enhancing global public safety and development and the future of work and the worker. And as we do this, let's work together to have ownership by all of our stakeholders and partners in developing interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary solutions that can have the impacts that we want. And so this is the strategy that we have and the hope that we have in implementing the whole notion of a global school as a partner, as a platform. Next, please. So as we build this, we're going to build on our core departments. Next. And the core departments, of course, will collaborate across different areas to drive our goals. Next, please. And so we want to drive these goals in areas that our faculty have developed real interest in communities around. So one of these, next please, is the area of materials reimagined, which brings together people from multiple disciplines to drive the field of materials, all the way to solving problems in rural Ghana from gold extraction, or refining and recycling, or perhaps cutting edge applications to drive the future of manufacturing. Next, please. So as we go through these, Materials Reimagined is what the faculty have called this new group that's going from ideas to reality, bringing people together across multiple disciplines. The other area is BioPoint, which again was named by our faculty. And this is a group of folks working across multiple disciplines, next please, in ways that are driving this cross-cutting applications into areas such as neuroscience, cancer treatment, which is a major issue, and many, many areas where the applications of biology, chemistry, physics, and different disciplines can drive our efforts in areas related to biotech. Next is the smart world. And in the smart world, this is really the whole industry around the fourth industrial revolution, going from robotics, data science, machine learning, AI concepts to autonomous vehicles, and how we can apply many of these in areas that can have an impact in an emerging world during the digital revolution. And then the fourth, of course, is really related to our interest in global initiatives. And I would argue that the global school is the platform that really allows us to, again, cross across all of these disciplines that we have at WPI and work with our partners to develop impact. And as we do this, we want to do this with some foundational principles. Next, please. So those foundational underpinnings are the values that we espouse to as a community. We want to build into our efforts diversity, equity, and inclusion, sustainability, especially in terms of our sense of environmental stewardship, economic security, and social justice notions. We want to build in also the traditional ways in which we do education and really deepen these over time. Next, please. And this means that we want to build in a culture then of entrepreneurship, innovation, and value creation as part of what we aspire to build in through the school, through the programs into all of our students. Next, please. And then we want to build on top of this project-based learning and STEM education strategies that are part of many of these solutions and how we engage the world. Next, please. And then we also want to build in this whole notion of design thinking and a maker culture. So these are the foundational underpinnings that hopefully will guide what we do and impact our students in terms of the qualities they take into the world. Next, please. And as we do this, basically we want to build community, foster collaboration, establish strategic alliances that enable us as a part of a global community to reach these goals. Next. So as far as what we do, it's purpose-driven. It's work in research and education that drives the future of manufacturing, that creates the jobs of tomorrow. It's work in medical robotics that can drive the future in how we provide healthcare to people across the world. even in places where they don't have enough doctors. And it's work on the future of autonomous vehicles that creates many different possibilities as we begin to think about future fire trucks, global public safety, and the future of work. And what we hope to do by working with partners across the world is to start with ideas, build those ideas in communities, co-create the solutions, put them together, and deliver them in packages across the world. Next, please. So what is the global school? For me, it's this whole idea of making things in collaboration with our partners, thinking about social and other types of entrepreneurship in terms of how we innovate and really build those ideas up, and ultimately delivering those things to the world by working in teams in ways that really create value and impact in the world. So for us, I think we have a special opportunity to leverage this platform to deliver greater impact in collaboration with our partners. Next. And as we do this, I think it's important to kind of think, what is the pathway? And I think first is think about what are the big problems of the world and do so as a WPI community in collaboration with our partners. Figure out what aspects of basic and applied research and education are needed to really enable those problems to be solved. Develop in partnership with folks that we work with across the world, real solutions that have applications and technologies that can impact the world, and really work in partnership with others in the world to have impact on policy, business, and outcomes by coming together strategically in ways that will allow us to have integrated impact through interdisciplinary groups. Next. So as we pursue this path, it's exciting because I think what the Global School launch will do in the next 8 months or so will be to bring together groups of stakeholders within WPI to look at what we're already doing, to look also at opportunities to scale the impact of what we're doing as a community of collaborators across the world. So today, as we launch this series, it's my pleasure to say that our speaker will be Professor Robert Langer, who is Institute Professor at MIT. He's the Edison of our times, especially with applications in medicine. He is going to talk about how he has used project-based learning approaches to develop his research in the last 50 years in ways that have had impact on the formation of companies and healthcare across the world. Following this month's focus on global health, which is Robert Langer's focus, in November, the Africa group within the Global School will present Ambassador Bafo Ajay Bawa, who is the ambassador from Ghana to the United States. And he will present the perspective of a developing country that's actually been interacting with WPI and show some of the value that we are providing through those co-creation of solutions that are being done by WPI teams and teams of people in Ghana in ways that I think are exemplary. And then in December, we will have Nobel laureate Carlos Nobre of Brazil, who won the Nobel Prize in 2007 for his work on climate change, work with our Latin America's group in really presenting his ideas on climate change and the need for the kind of climate change adaptation work that we are proposing as we develop our global school. As we go into the next year, we will also have other thematic areas covered in regional foci that will look at contributions from people from the Middle East, from Asia, from Oceania, from Europe. And we will end this series, this academic year, by having a focus session on the future of work and the future of the worker. And as we move into the next academic year, we would turn our attention to this whole notion of global local. And Kent Rismuller and the team here are bringing together a spectacular team to really reimagine what does it really mean to be global local and what is the role of the global school within this framework. Next, please. So as we look to the launch of the global school, it's really exciting to see that all we're really doing is building on WPI's special sauce. And I believe very much that this will be our next revolution beyond the plan. The plan, which started 50 years ago, really has made WPI distinctive in how it offers education, both at the undergraduate and graduate level. And I think now by linking this with the global school, which now connects this to undergraduate, graduate, postdoctoral research, global partnerships, we will be able to do work that will impact policy, we will do work that will impact industry, impact outcomes, both social and tangible, in ways that will really expand the impact of WPI in collaboration with our partners well beyond the plan. And I see this kind of platform for higher ed as really a potential to really rethink how higher ed is done. So rather than have the separation of the towers from the town, what we're really doing is connect the towers, the educational towers of theory and practice, not only to the town, not only to the region, but really to the world. And this is only possible through the collaboration with lots and lots of stakeholders that have helped us to come this far. So as I conclude this presentation, I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody really that has been so helpful in helping us to understand what is WPI's unique role in the heart of New England as we strive to grow from being a small local town campus to a regional global campus that we hope will really change the world through this blend of what the global school has to offer. Thank you very much.